Legionnaires of the Lariat, we are back with your predictions for SummerSlam 2024. Are you ready to get weird, Steven?
I mean, don't I live for getting weird? That's where I live in the world.
Live for it. I am your host tonight, a little bit more handsome, a little bit grayer, matches my hat. I am Mr. Showtime, Michael Wright, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, stevezapf. Steven, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for SummerSlam. I'm always excited for SummerSlam. I know I might have said this on the show. SummerSlam is actually my favorite event. WrestleMania always has WrestleMania, but SummerSlam is the event that I look forward to the most.
You know, I usually do that as we're reviewing SummerSlam 92 at the same time. So that'll be a bonus episode for you guys. I think we've mentioned it on the show in the past, but Steven and I are reviewing SummerSlam 92 because it fits both SummerSlam and All In, as it was live from Wembley. 80,000 people. It was a really cool event. We're not reviewing that today. I will say that was one of the slower SummerSlams, so we just kind of got roped into that one, but you'll get our real thoughts as we post that either this week or next week. We're still trying to figure out when that comes out. I am way more excited for this SummerSlam than I was for that SummerSlam, as we have some really big storylines that are culminating here. Maybe not culminating, but at least hitting its next stride. We have, these have had tons of long builds to them. I think we're going to have some surprises, and I think just maybe, we'll have a ton of new faces. I have 5 potential surprise people. I'm sorry, 6 potential surprise people showing up on this pay-per-view. And so, Steven, I'm going to...
I've got...
Yeah.
I don't know if it's new faces so much.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it right now. I'm going to ask you later.
Right.
I want to make that as the tiebreaker of who can get the most right without getting it. It's a wrong ratio. Because if I have 6, I get all of them, but only get 3 right. It's kind of a turd sandwich, and I'm not looking for that. But we'll do that as a tiebreaker towards the end when we kind of think when we speculate on who we think can return. I'm talking about returns, but yeah, let's call them returns, not new people. Like, I'm not going to say that Joe Hendry's going to show up, but you know what? I believe. Let's get into the first match, Steven. We have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as the guest. Shenanigans. I mean, referee. I always mix up those words because it's definitely
they're weird. They're synonyms, aren't they?
It's so similar right now. It's and particularly with that shoulder blouse thing that he was wearing this week on Raw.
Enough.
And did you see his zebra shoes? He had zebra shoes, zebra heels.
I mean, he's keeping the black and white motif going for his refereeing job, at least.
Yeah, at least they fit him in the storyline.
I feel like this match has been obviously building for 9 months now, 8 months.
Ever since the Royal Rumble. When
maybe before that.
Well, before that, it was really Rollins versus Punk. If you remember when Punk returned, it was Rollins that had that visceral reaction of you got to be kidding me. And then it quickly turned to Drew McIntyre because Rollins got swept up in the Cody Rock, the bloodline stuff. So that was kind of where this shifted, particularly when Drew was the one that hurt CM Punk in the Battle Royal, in the Royal Rumble. So this is where that's going. I think I know where you're going. I'll let you say it rather than spoil what you're about to say. So, Steven, what do you think is going to happen in this match?
I think this match is going to end in some type of no contest, in all honesty. I don't think we're going to get a real winner. I don't see a world where Seth Rollins doesn't get involved. He's got to get involved. And this is the best way.
So at least have to count the pin.
I think this is the best way to have Seth Rollins in this match without having it be an actual 3-way match. Because I don't want them to have 3-way. If they do a blow-off 3-way match way down the line, I'd probably be okay with it. But right now, I don't want to see a 3-way match between these guys.
Well, I want to see how CM Punk can screw Drew McIntyre out of a win here, but I don't know how he does that when he's in the match. But that's all he does these days.
I mean, yeah, that's I feel. Can I put no contest as my answer? Like I don't think we're gonna get a winner.
Well, so I would say no. Like you could say that if you really want to, but like in that situation, it's kind of a push. So we need to get one. If you want to just go no contest, you can. I think you're wrong because I think we're not going to get a definitive winner, but you're going to get a winner because Seth is going to side with somebody here. Now, this is really hard for me to judge. So let me break down my thought process for you and the millions and millions of listeners out there right now. So I'm fully in the camp that CM Punk is the heel in this match. Now, I know I'm the minority in that, and I really, really am having a hard time understanding why no one else sees this. But apparently, CM Punk is a face. I guess so. He only interfered in multiple matches, used weapons, almost killed Drew McIntyre last time. Sure. But Drew McIntyre stole a bracelet with a dog and a wife's name on it, so he's an asshole. So he's the face in this match. Seth Rollins, I think, has hit that plateau of unable to be a heel right now. Like, he could do nefarious things and still be the good guy. Not in the same way CM Punk is, because I still don't get that one. But, like, it's kind of like when The Rock was at his height and he was the face and he could cheat and people still cheered him. The same thing with Stone Cold.
So I don't see Seth Rollins as much as the cheating. I think he can do things. He can do something wrong and the fans will still cheer him. Like, it might not be full on cheating. It'll be he made the wrong choice about something.
I could see CM Punk going for the pin and Rollins counting 2 and having a cramp. Because everyone knows how much they don't. So that's what I mean. Like, that's a heel move, but I don't think the fans would turn on Seth Rollins for that. Except for CM Punk is a face in some universe that just bled into this one. And it's not this one, everyone. Listen to me.
I didn't wear the Punk hat today, man.
It's malarkey. And then you got Drew McIntyre, the man screwed 10 ways to Sunday, and a heel somehow. Whatever. So like that's why this one is really, it's really kind of, there's a blurred line here because you kind of have to see Seth Rollins being kind of neutral. He should be in Drew McIntyre's corner regardless of what, because they are essentially friends. They've showed that on TV where they're trying to talk sense into the other one. They'll fight each other. They're adversaries, but at the same time,
they at least have a mutual respect. I don't. Friends might be a strong word. They have a mutual
that's
respect.
What I mean. 100%. So like that's kind of where I see CM Punk. I see Seth Rollins ultimately siding with Drew McIntyre in this. I think something's gonna happen where CM Punk is about to win the match in quotation marks. But for the number of times he screwed Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins is going to have none of it. And either qualify CM Punk or not count it and then Claymore and then fast count. So I'm going with McIntyre with an assistance of shenanigans, which may even turn into a McIntyre Rollins. He wanted to beat CM Punk cleanly, and his stuff got in the way of that. So this muddies the water here. So there's a lot more. This is not the end of this feud. This is just the beginning of a big.
Oh no, not by any means.
I think that this 3-way feud might actually culminate at WrestleMania with Rollins versus Punk. Like that's kind of where I think that they're going to take this. So that you're going to start with Punk versus McIntyre. McIntyre is going to get his revenge to a certain degree, which I don't think is this match necessarily. And then you'll have Rollins versus Punk kind of transition to that, which is what they probably wanted to have last WrestleMania, but because CM Punk got hurt. So I'm going to go with McIntyre with a shenanigans assistant. I am also in the camp of you that it could go no contest. I just don't see in what scenario Rollins can DQ both of them. Like, I would love a fast count when you count them out. Like, he gets like really technical with the rules. And the two of them are brawling outside, and he fast counts the 10 count and DQs both of them. That would be hilarious.
So I'm almost going no contest, not in the sense that Rollins is gonna DQ them both. I think it's just gonna, by the end of this, it's gonna break down into a brawl between all three of them. And the match is just like everything in the match is gonna get thrown out. I think we're just not gonna get a winner. If I'm picking a winner,
you can make the no contest if that's like, because if that's how it goes down, you get the point and I won't.
I'm gonna put no contest because truthfully, I think if anyone wins this, I think it might be Punk, and I'll tell you why. I think that if Punk wins the match, it won't be Seth making the count.
Then what's the point of having a special guest referee?
I think this is going to be one of those. They're all going to be up in each other's faces, and then at some point, Drew thinks he's going to hit Punk with the Claymore. Punk moves out of the way. He hits Seth with the Claymore. Punk hits him with the go to sleep or whatever, and another referee comes out to make the count, basically. Boo. That's the only way I see Punk winning.
I don't like your style.
But truthfully, I see this kind of going to a non-winner. Like, they're just all gonna brawl out by the end of this.
Your predictions, in my mind, are worst case scenario right now. And I actually think that WWE is in a better case right now. Like, none of that sounds fun to me. Does that sound fun to you?
So I think the version of Punk winning is not fun.
No,
I think
terrible.
The no contest is going. I think the no contest one, because I think it's going to be what you're saying is he's going to go to make the count for one and no, and then he'll go to make the count for the other, and then we'll get we'll get a shoving match or something, and then one of them will accidentally clock him or something like that, or like they'll be fighting in the corner and he'll get in between them, and then the second one of them touches him even a little bit, it's just going to be on. Between the three of them.
I love the idea of Punk getting so angry that he hits Rollins and Rollins DQing him, and then McIntyre getting pissed, and then kind of your no contest scenario. That just adds that actual bitterness and that fuel to it, rather than just the three of them end up devolving into a brawl and then they brawl to the backstage.
That's the thing. I don't see any world though where this match doesn't end with all three of them trying to beat the hell out of
I just think there's better ways to get there. I think that's my criticism to your prediction. And because like just them all fighting is annoying. Like I want the catalyst to turn it, because like I said, Rollins is technically a super face right now. All the things he did, like he proved that he could be trusted at WrestleMania. Like, and I'll be the first to admit, I was the last one to trust him, and it was after everything. And I'm like, is he still going to get him? Like right now, I know you're hugging Triple H in the middle of the ring, and Cody won, but like, Rollins could still get him here. Like that was after everything was done. So I was the last to trust him, but now he's super babyface. Like you can't throw all that work away. Like what was the point of all that if you do? So like that's why I feel like this.
It's called damage control. I mean, I'm sorry, I meant it's bad storytelling.
Yeah, it's not. It's synonyms. So we're all over that. So we spent a lot of time on this one. I wanted to break down kind of the way I was thinking, because I know that a lot of people talk to us about like how do you pick these crazy things? Because sometimes we pick some pretty wild assumptions. That's how I break down a match. Like I really do try to break it down from piece by piece and then kind of put it back together on how I book it. I know I was a little sloppy and all over the place there, but that's how my brain is. I'm a sloppy and all over the place kind of person.
I mean, that's why we get along-ish.
The next match, though I don't know if everybody else can see it, but I see that you have that little tag underneath your name that says host, which means that you're a dirty liar, because I'm the host. I'm the captain now.
So I don't think they show up normally.
So you guys are seeing a little bit behind the screens. Man, oh man. We got the next match. Sorry, Steve. It's all about.
See?
It's all about
There,
the
are you
images.
happy?
Less
Are you happy?
less
It
upset.
says host now.
You still messed up, and I'll never forgive you.
There. It says host.
Next match is
I get it.
Sami
You're the
Zayn
captain now.
versus Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker. Steven, so we have a rematch from the last pay-per-view of Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Great build-up to this one. You had Braun Breaker taking down Dragunov to earn this spot again. And so actually, I'll go first this time since you went first last time, or kind of, whatever that happened. I actually think that this is going to be the shortest match on the card. I think you're talking about sub 5 minutes, and you're going to have Braun Breaker squash Sami Zayn in the way he was doing before. The reason why I put it this way is because Braun Breaker has been, if you kind of read between the lines, he's had a really good build for his character of him being young. And the fact that every single match he seems to learn the mistake he made in the past. And the way it makes sense for him losing at Money in the Bank is what he learned is whenever you let Sami Zayn hang around, the longer that match goes, the more likely it is that Sami's going to win. That's what Gunther didn't learn when he lost because he couldn't put him away soon enough. So I think Braun's going to come out here. Like, he might spear him, pick him up, spear him again, and pin him, and it'd be over that quickly. I don't think that one spear will take him down, Sami down, because he's just too established of a star. But something big like that,
he's wiry.
He certainly is wiry. So that's why I'm taking Braun Breaker this time around, and I'm taking him quickly. He learned his lesson. You don't let Sami Zayn hang around. And now he's going to take him down. What do you think, Steven? What do you think about that? Am I right? Am I wrong?
So, I'm not going to lie. Just to be different, I wanted to pick Sami Zayn.
I dared you to take him.
I'm not going to pick Sami Zayn. I'm going with Braun. Or should you just put Beatron?
My keyboard's all messed up.
I'm going with Braun because I think they need to get Sami out of the IC title picture to get him involved with more Jey Uso stuff.
Uso!
Because I think they do need him involved in this bloodline versus bloodline thing. It's still, I hate that we're going to bloodline versus bloodline, but this is where we're at, guys. So I'm going I'm going Braun, and I think you're right. I think this is going to be the quickest match on the card, unless we count something else going on. But I'm going to go with that. This is probably the quickest match on the card as well.
You got seven matches. Way too many cards for Triple H. Too many matches. This is more than 5. Like, it's 2 more than 5. Come on. No, I really.
It's only because it's one of the big pay-per-views.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to fix that by making one of them 37 seconds. And that's what I see this match going down. Though I'm highly disappointed in you that you wouldn't stick to your guns and choose Sami. You coward. The next match, though, I do like the build.
If I get it wrong, you pull further ahead still.
Yeah, I know. You're 8 matches behind at this point in time.
I get it.
I literally could take this one off, and you still couldn't catch up. You should be ashamed.
Yeah, because there's not enough matches.
Yeah, I know. The whole pay-per-view. I have a pay-per-view in the pocket.
It's fine. I'll make it up I'll make it up in Wembley because there will be 32 matches in Wembley.
That's fair. Those are the ones that scare me too. So the next match is for the U.S. title. You have Logan Paul, the champion, who's the if you can call him that, because he's defended this title like twice in 6 years.
Almost a year.
Versus LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Steven, I think this one we're gonna agree on, but what do you think's going down here?
It's definitely Logan Paul.
Clearly.
Oh wait, no, I meant LA Knight.
Well, he had a 5 defense contract, so he's gonna have this for another 6 years.
Yeah, this is LA Knight. LA Knight's winning this match. They need to get a title on him. They need to test the waters on and see what a title on LA Knight looks like and what the fan base looks like around him. because they either need to decide on if he's worth putting into the world title picture, and they need to do it quickly. And they need to do it, and I think they need to do it with the U.S. title.
I find it hard to believe that he's going to be, a champion, like a world champion. Now, I agree with you. I think LA Knight wins this match. I think it's time to get this belt off of Logan Paul. It's been on the sideline for too long, and it's time to get this to a point where we have the U.S. title on cards again. I mean, I'm not saying anything too crazy or groundbreaking. It's insane that he's had this title for so long and has defended it. Is it literally twice, like 3 times at most? One of his matches wasn't even for it. So I'm with you on that.
Oh no, he's had other matches. He's only defended the title twice.
Yeah,
though. Once was at WrestleMania, and then he defended it. Like, I think he defended it against Owens, didn't he?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was the defense against Owens,
which was the rematch because he
defended it against Owens and Randy, and then that was it. Every other match he's had was he had the match against Cody for the WWE Championship, and he had the match against LA Knight and Santos Escobar to get into Money in the Bank.
We didn't even predict one of these matches. Elimination Chamber. He didn't. So we started our predictions at Elimination Chamber, where Logan Paul was in it, but he obviously wasn't defending it, and that was after he won. I think he may have only defended this title once this year.
Twice.
No, once this year on a pay-per-view at least.
Oh no, I thought he not defend it at Rumble.
We didn't predict.
We didn't talk about
do
Rumble. That's why. We started everything in February,
and that would have been last year.
I think he defended it. Rumble's January.
Rumble's January?
Yeah, Rumble's the end of January.
So, since my tenure of this show, he's defended this title one time.
One time. And it was at WrestleMania.
Not even Utah. Give me 2. Just 1. So, so it's time for him to move out. But to get to my actual point there is, I don't see how LA fits into the world title picture. Like, the people that are in it right now are... They seem like the echelon above him, and maybe he just needs to get to that spot. But given his age and everything right now, and not to age shame, but I know he's is he 40?
I think he's 40, or he's close to.
Now he had a late career.
And don't get me wrong, we've had this conversation.
But
I don't even think he had a late career start. I think he's just been doing this a really long time. It just took him a little while to really get noticed.
But in all honesty, I don't see him being a legitimate contender for Cody. At this point, I think that you're going to start seeing some other upper echelon people come up for Cody's title. So that leaves him going up against the likes of Priest and Gunther. And I won't lie, he's probably in their camp, maybe more Priest than Gunther's. But I don't see him beating them right now. That's where my head, he didn't beat AJ Styles the second time. If he loses this match, he's
not getting a title.
He's going the way of Shinsuke.
If he loses this match, I don't see him getting a title anytime, maybe ever.
Ever, yeah.
Ever. I think this is the reason why I'm saying using the U.S. title to test the waters for him is kind of, and I realize that this is almost a different scenario, but it's a very similar scenario, is them putting the U.S. title on Cena the first time. And I realized it's a difference in an age gap and things like that. We're talking about a guy who was becoming the face of the franchise versus a guy who has been around for a minute. But I think this is a matter of, if you put the U.S. title on LA Knight, he gets a great reaction, and he really, really keeps turning the fans the way that he does. I think this is a matter of, we might have to start putting him into some type of world title picture, or let him win an Elimination Chamber, or let him win a Money in the Bank, or something like that. Something along those lines where he's thought about in that world title picture somewhere.
Some of the things you said in there, I could see. Elimination Chamber win. I could see that. a Money in the Bank. I can see that. King of the Ring, maybe.
I don't see him. I don't see him winning a Royal
Me
Rumble.
either.
Like, let's put it that way. I don't see him getting the main event at Mania.
I don't.
I see him, even if he wins a world title right now, having I don't know, it'd be like a win at like a Backlash.
A Backlash
somehow.
losing at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Is he yeah, exactly that. Win at Backlash, lose at SummerSlam, win at like a Saudi show, lose at Survivor Series type of thing.
Yep.
Like, he's gonna lose the title at a big show.
Yep, win it at a medium show, lose it at a big show. Yeah.
I mean, unless something changes in the next year, and again, I think the U.S. title is the tester to see if something will change in the next year.
Let's see. The way he's billed right now, I just don't see it. But speaking of the way that they're billing people and the problem I have with it, the next match is Damian Priest versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Steven, I'm going to let you go first with this one. I know Damian's your boy. Where do you think this match is going?
I keep saying this, and I'm really sticking to I think I'm sticking to my guns on this one. I think Damian Priest wins this match.
Okay.
I don't like the way they've built his title reign, but if they're going to turn him full face, which is kind of what they're doing, I think this win needs to happen. And I think it gives him a little bit of legitimacy as a world champion, finally, because they haven't booked him quite strongly enough. Like, you went from Seth Rollins being the workhorse champion to Drew McIntyre being in there for 30 seconds to Priest kind of getting put way on the back burner.
I couldn't dislike the way they handled Priest more. They've taken all the teeth out of him, and the way this all has gone down, like the fact that he hasn't beaten anybody straight up except for Braun Strowman is kind of embarrassing. And I take nothing away from Damian Priest. He's done a great job. He has a couple of botches in there, which is unfortunate. When I close my eyes, him hanging upside down from his ankle lives rent free in my head.
Because it was scary.
It was crazy scary. But I'm going to agree with you here, Steve. We talked about this before. This shouldn't be too big of a shock, because I'm going to give WWE the benefit of the doubt here. If all the things they did happens, like the way they did, the way you make this right is you put Priest over on Gunther cleanly. This is the match that he wins. Everyone's expecting Gunther to win this match. This is the big shocking moment. Have him actually beat this match, and then all of a sudden you have Gunther on his back, on his heels, and then in Bash in Berlin he gets a rematch and he wins this title. So I think that's the way they kind of save this title run, save Priest as an actual legitimate champion. Because in my mind, he's not necessarily defended this title once. He cheated to beat Jey Uso.
Every time he's got outside interference, and
he did it with McIntyre. He did it with Rollins. Like, you got to beat somebody for the title at a pay-per-view. Or you're just a transitional champion. They screwed over the way he was supposed to handle the Money in the Bank. He held it too long. He missed his window when he was hot. He spent all that time as tag team champions, and now they're just correcting it with a Gunther win. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's what I want to see. I would like to see Damian Priest beat Gunther straight up in this match. That's what I'm going to kind of predict at this point in time. And then Gunther beats him straight up for this title at Bash in Berlin. And then we get a best of 3, because we haven't got one of those in a while, and I think that would be good.
We haven't, and not in a really long time.
And I think even the Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker, if Braun beats him, I don't think we're seeing Sami Braun 3.
I don't think so. Like I said, I think if Braun beats Sammy, I think it's so that Sammy can go off and do bloodline stuff.
Yep. I think what ends up happening here is let's fantasy book here for a second. I would like to see Damian Priest beat Gunther. Gunther gets a number 1 contender match against Randy Orton. Puts Orton down the right way, fixes his mistakes from King of the Ring. Faces Priest at Bash in Berlin. Wins the title. And then you get them facing maybe at Survivor Series. Maybe it's a Mania match.
That might be a little bit too long. They probably, because I think, don't they have Crown Jewel coming up?
I can see Crown Jewel
being
being
probably blow it off on Crown Jewel,
something like that.
Because they usually do the Saudi shows pretty big.
So that's how I'd like to see it. And then you could have either Gunther or Priest win it and end all the talk, and then they can move on to the next one. And I think that legitimizes his title a lot more than having to hang it on Rollins or hanging on some of these other guys. And because you could see this McIntyre Rollins CM Punk feud without a title still being exciting. Like, there's 7 matches on this card. 6 of them have a title involved, and none of them are tag titles.
None of them.
We got Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
Wait, real quick, because I know I'll end up catching flack if I don't say this. Yes, I understand that there's 7 matches on here, and 6 of them are for titles, and I bash AEW for doing stuff like this. They haven't been around for 100 years to establish these titles.
Steven, this is completely different. This is not 37 matches with 36 of them being for a title. It's slightly different.
Oh, just making sure. Okay.
I got you.
Not to mention 4 pre-show matches that are all for
titles. One of them having 6 titles on a stick. You know, it's not the same thing. The next match is unfortunately doesn't seem to be the stipulation that I want. Because Dominic Mysterio ladder match, the custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match is not being booked yet. But you got Liv Morgan versus.
We still have a few days.
A couple days, so I'm holding out hope. Though they're on Raw, so we may have missed the boat, but that's not the point. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. This match is something. I think this match is coming at the right time. I'm so happy that Rhea's back, and I got a bad feeling. I don't like this feeling I got. What do you think, Steve?
I think I'm sharing your bad feeling, but I'm also gonna put this out there. Liv needs to have a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of who wins this match, Liv needs her match to be good because she's proven me wrong in her character development the last couple months. Like, ever since this kind of started, you and I have kind of changed our tune about Liv Morgan.
Sure.
Now I need this match to be quality, because if you can't have a good match with Rhea Ripley, you can't have a good match. And I'm going to say it, and it's going to hurt. I'm sorry, Mommy. Liv is winning.
I hope she hears you. She comes and gets you. Particularly before I make my pick.
I mean, she lives in Orlando, so it could
She's coming for you. So I thought the Liv Becky match was really good. It wasn't anywhere close to what I thought the Becky Rhea match was, but I thought that match was quality in the Hell in the Cell match that they had for the title and all that stuff. So that was a real solid match. That is kind of what you're talking about. I get you here as well. I have to agree with you because I
hope she hears you too.
No, that's why I hope she heard you first and then isn't listening anymore. Because I just don't see how Dom doesn't double cross her here. Like, they're setting it up like that's where I'm like, if Dom doesn't double cross her, I think Rhea wins. I don't want to see
someone is double crossing Rhea Ripley.
I don't want to see Dom tried to help Rhea and cost her the match. Like, I've seen that story numerous times. And I'm so over...
That movie's played already.
And I'm so over Dom being the incompetent kid. Like, I want to see him start winning matches. I want to see him start putting his real wrestling skills to the test. And, like, I'm ready for that chapter of the Dominic Mysterio storyline. I'm ready. But that might start with Dom double-crossing Rhea for Liv. And then, obviously, Liv's going to be like, I was faking it the whole time. And then Dom's all alone and being booed.
And then Rhea's gonna whoop him.
Yeah, and maybe an intergender match of Dom versus Rhea, and then he still gets squashed. Like, I want to see him.
And then we have to see if Dom can have a good match against.
So, I hate that I'm going to say this, but I'm going to take Liv because I think shenanigans will ensue here. I also have a theory that you're going to see 3 title changes and 3 title retentions. It's a nice little balance of what you need for this with one match that doesn't have a title. So and that's the way we're working towards right now. So I'm sorry, Mommy. I hope you win. I'm rooting for you. I still want you to be holding that title pre-vacancy. So, like, in my mind, you're still the champion. But I think this is what's going to happen here. The next match is for the WWE Women's Championship, not the Women's World Championship, but the WWE Women's Championship, which is Bayley versus Nia Jax. Steven, I think we both agree on what's going to happen here, so I'll let you break the news.
So the winner's Tiffany Stratton, right? That's what's happening.
I think you're right. So here's how I want to play this match. Tiffany Stratton.
Do we get a winner? Do we get a finish before we get a win? Before we get Tiffany?
That's not what I'm asking. I don't think that really matters. Because if Tiffany comes out and cashes in after the match, I don't think so. Let me start there. If Tiffany Stratton cashes in, I don't think it's going to be after someone wins. It was different when, like, this is more Priest Rollins with McIntyre cashing in than McIntyre Rollins with Priest cashing in. Because McIntyre needed that win. He needed that title, that moment. And I don't think that Nia or Bayley needs to beat each other in this moment in time to like progress their storyline. Like that needed to happen for McIntyre. So usually when that's the case, at the last minute, it becomes a triple threat match. And that's when Tiffany Stratton's going to come down. So let's pretend for a second that Tiffany does not cash in. She's actually girls with Nia. And she would never, ever do something like that to Nia. I mean, how could you even think of that? So if she doesn't, who wins this match?
Nia.
It's Nia. I'm with you.
Nia. It should be Nia.
And then I agree with you. I think Tiffany's going to cash this Money in the Bank. I can't believe you didn't think about this earlier, Steven. Tiffany's going to cash in, and she's going to win the title. So here's how I'm going to score this for the record. If Tiffany does not cash in the Money in the Bank, we get a point for Nia winning. If Tiffany cashes it in and doesn't win, we do not get a point.
Okay.
Is that fair?
I'm down.
I feel like that's the fair way to go about it because we're both calling that Tiffany. We think that Tiffany's going to cash it in. I put the caveat here because we really don't know if they're going to or not. So, like,
now, do we get a double point each if Nia still wins and Tiffany's in there celebrating with her and double crosses her, and then,
well,
like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
do you think that's going to happen?
She actually gets the win. The only reason I don't think it's going to become a 3-way is because they just did that at the actual Money in the Bank event, and that was just last month. And that is the only reason I could see them having a real some type of finish before they
sure
before they do it.
If that's what you'd like. You can get your bonus point for
But
that means no difference
no matter
whatsoever.
But no matter what, Tiffany Stratton is due for this title at this point.
I think so.
She is. Bailey's title reign has been meh, and I don't blame Bailey. I blame what they've done with Bailey. Nia, they've done good things with her lately, but she's still just kind of Nia Jax. I hate to say it any other way, but like I she doesn't have. She's got like go home heat. Like people just don't want to see her, and not in the sense of like you want someone to beat her up. Like you just don't want her on the screen a lot of times.
I get it. Well, I don't see that. I think that she is more over than you're giving her credit for. But
I think she's the most over that she's ever been.
Sure.
But she's still also playing Tiffany's sidekick at this point.
That I agree with. So I'm with you. If you want 2 points for this one because Nia won and Tiffany gets it, sure. But I picked the same thing, so it doesn't matter.
We're making the same.
We're only playing against each other, so whatever. So you have that going for you. All right, and then what I'm assuming is the main event. Obviously, we don't think that this is
the main event.
Obviously, we don't think this is actually the order of the matches. We'll reorganize this when we talk about the review of this show. But I would say that I think that Cody versus Solo Sikoa for the WWE Championship is going to be the main event of this card. I have shenanigans will happen in this. I think many shenanigans are going to happen in this one. And
so many shenanigans.
So, Steven, what do you think happens here?
Can we do like a side note? Like not even like people coming in, but like how many Islanders show up during this match?
I'll set the over. Does Solo count?
No. Solo's in the match, so no.
I'll set the over.
So outside Islanders.
The over under at 5.5.
All right, so let's see. We've got all the other 3 members of the bloodline, the current bloodline. Check. Does an honorary Oos count?
No, because you didn't say Oos. You said Islander. And I don't think Sammy fits that bill.
I think I'm going over, actually.
It's a good over-under, right?
I think I'm going over, only because I think we see the other brother show up. I think what's his name? Hikuleo, I think, comes in for this whole thing. But this is still, I don't see Cody losing this match. I see Cody winning. I see Roman returning. Right? Like that's what we need. We need Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman to come out. And it's going to be so weird to see Paul Heyman as a babyface.
I could see it. Was he technically a babyface when he was a commentator? He wasn't really a heel back in the day, but he was just his own personality. So
he was Paul Heyman.
Here's the thing. I want to see Cody lose this because I want to just see everybody's jaw drop. I think it would be so funny with Solo winning this. I think that he's going to get that same heat that Roman used to get. But I'm with you. I don't think they're going to do that, but I would pop for Solo winning this. And I feel like if I keep picking against Cody, people are going to start thinking I hate him, which I don't. I think Cody's great. So here's my list of people who I think can return. And Steven, you tell me if you think they're going to or not. Let's start with the easy one. Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Jimmy Uso.
Yes.
The Rock.
No.
Alexa Bliss.
No.
Charlotte Flair.
Ooh. Yes.
So that was that the 6 that I was teasing earlier? So that's kind of the people and then sorry. I missed one. I must not have been able to see him. John Cena.
For Summerslam. I don't think that Cena is going to be there. The one that I'm even a little touchy for is Charlotte, because I don't know how they would fit her in currently, because she's on SmackDown, so it makes it a hard fit in. I think she's still on SmackDown.
Well, I think. Well, we both think she's going to join the Wyatt Six. So, that's
Alexa Bliss. I meant Charlotte.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So Alexa Bliss, I don't think is ready to return. Everything that I've seen, like, she's working towards it, but I don't think she's where she wants to be yet for it.
But people come back before they're ready,
Charlotte,
without actually having a match to build up the match that they'll eventually have.
I think she still wants to. I think she's still not in, like, anywhere near true ring shape just yet, though. She's still. I think she's still getting used to being a mom and working out while having a baby and stuff like that too. So I think a lot of that, she's not used to just not having the time to do stuff is kind of where it looks like her life is going.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind if she comes back as just a manager, like again, like I said, be the mouthpiece of the Wyatt Six. That would be cool. My thing with Charlotte is I just don't know where they would put her here. Like, moving on from Alexa, for Charlotte, that's why I'm not sure if Charlotte's coming back. The obvious point would be the Bayley, Nia, Tiffany Stratton thing, but you're already getting. I'll do the bunny rabbit ears, the quote marks, the shock of Tiffany cashing in if she does.
But nothing legitimizes.
Having Charlotte also come out would be like a double shock.
Nothing would legitimize Tiffany more than winning over Charlotte Flair.
I agree, but I think you don't do it at SummerSlam. I think you have Charlotte come back out at SmackDown, maybe. And I think it still happens within the next week or two. I think it's just, how many things are you going to, like, kind of have happen on this card? Because after a while, not to repeat quotes that I say all the time, but it's kind of like putting a hat on a hat. If you have a surprise during the match, do you need another surprise during the match? Or like directly after the match?
We always need another surprise.
Or if there is or I could see her being the reason why Tiffany doesn't cash in.
That would be dope.
Like, Tiffany goes, like, makes it look like she's about to cash in, and Charlotte just hits the big boot on her.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get a Tiffany Charlotte feud, which is kind of along the lines of something that I'd want, because I've been saying I want Tiffany versus Bianca for a while. Tiffany versus Charlotte would be great too. And no matter what, it's all going to lead towards somebody facing Rhea Ripley, because they're all the best athletes at this point. They're all the best women's wrestlers
on different brands and whatnot. But if Dom double crosses Rhea, I could see her going over to SmackDown. That would be a crazy little swing, leaving like no women on Raw for Liv to fight. But whatever.
Just the ones that are involved with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. So Steven, I will say I'm very disappointed in us. This is a boring predictions. We have all the same things except for you chose a no contest in the CM Punk Drew McIntyre match. and I'm pretty much calling for a DQ McIntyre win. So they couldn't be any more similar. Sorry to say you're not catching up, but I'm assuming you're going to lose another point here and still not win a pay per view. So
I told you I'm going to make them all up during the 32 matches at Wembley.
cool. Good luck on that. I do pretty good. You still haven't beaten me in an AEW one either. You haven't beaten me in a single pay per view or PLE this year. So just it's bound to happen. I'm sure one of these days. It will.
One of these
days.
It
could be SummerSlam because we only picked one thing different, and all you need is a no contest in this one.
I'll take the moral victory.
That's as big of a default win as I can imagine. But that's what we have for you,
folks. Two best words in the English language.
Default. That's what we have for you, folks. Default. I hope you enjoy SummerSlam. Let us know what your predictions are. Where did we get it wrong? Where did we get it right? Where are we being a little too safe? Honestly, I would like to have called Solo to win this because just to kick the hornet's nest, but I wasn't that bold. But you guys tell us what you think. Where are we wrong? How is this going to be better in your mind? Comment in the comments below if you'd like to. We always want to hear from you guys.
We have comments.
We do. They're comments. They're somewhere in this vicinity. It's this way.
I think it's down.
Yeah, it's that way.
Usually down.
Right here. So thank you all for joining us. We love you. We appreciate the support. Like and subscribe. And we will see you next time, or we will see you on another time.
Have a good night.